Okay, so this is going to be in your book of quadrilaterals. We're going to talk about the things that you should have discovered on the GeoGebra activity. If you did not do that activity, you need to do that before you do this video. Please do not just do all the ed puzzles first. That's not going to help you when it comes time to do the assignments. So, a rectangle is a parallelogram. So it has all of these 5 properties of a parallelogram that we talked about before. Okay? So, opposite sides are parallel. So we're going to label that on our picture. Remember, parallel is labeled with the arrows. So opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are also congruent. Opposite angles are congruent. Okay? And consecutive angles are supplementary. That means add to 180. The diagonals will bisect each other. That means that this is congruent to this, and then this one is congruent to this one. Okay? Plus, the 2 new things that you should have discovered is that we have 4 right angles, which we already know that about a rectangle, and that the diagonals are congruent. So now we know that this is congruent to this, and so is this congruent to that. Okay? So all of the parts of the diagonals are congruent. Each of these little pieces are going to be all the same size. Okay? Alright, so let's do an example. It says quadrilateral RSTU is a rectangle. So let's draw our rectangle. And remember, labeled in the clockwise order, R, S, T, and then U, with diagonals that intersect at P. So draw diagonals that intersect at P. It says, if the measure of angle RSU, so we follow our angle along, RSU, so that's this angle right here. So we're talking about this little bitty piece right here, and that's 3x minus 5. That's the measure of this angle, 3x minus 5. And the measure of angle UST, so that's UST, so that's going to be this angle right here. And that's 4x plus 4. Find the value of x. So we need to know about the angles. So let's go up to our properties and look at angles. Let's see. Oh, here we go, number 6. 4 right angles. Okay? So together, these 2 little bitty angles, they make the corner of the rectangle. So they must add to 90 degrees. So we're going to say 3x minus 5 plus 4x plus 4 equals 90 degrees. Because together, these 2 angles make 90. And then we're going to go ahead and solve that equation. So this is going to be 3x and 4x make 7x, and negative 5 and 4 make negative 1 equals 90. And then add 1 to both sides. 91 equals 7x. Divide by 7. So we get x equals 13. Alright. Example 2. Quadrilateral ABCD is a rectangle. So we're going to draw a rectangle. And remember, it's A, B, out. It goes in clockwise order. A, B, C, D. And the diagonals intersect at point P. Okay? So that's point P. It says, if AC is 4x minus 13. So that's this whole length right here. A all the way to C is 4x minus 13. I'm just going to highlight that so we know it's the whole length. And then it says that DP, which is just this little bitty length, that's equal to x plus 7. Alright, so what do we know about the diagonals? Well, right here, the diagonals bisect each other, and we also know that the diagonals are congruent. So, we need those two things to figure out our answer. If this part right here is x plus 7, then from P to B is also x plus 7, right? And now we also know that the blue diagonal is going to be congruent to the pink diagonal. So we're going to say x plus 7 plus x plus 7 equals the whole thing 4x minus 13. Okay? So this whole diagonal is equal to this whole diagonal. So that's why I had to write x plus 7 twice. Okay? Now we're going to solve this equation. This is 2x plus 14 equals 4x minus 13. Okay? And then we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. Cancels. 14 equals 2x minus 13. Add 13 to both sides. 26 equals 2x. Divide by 2. X equals 13. Is that what they asked me to find? Yep. So I'm done. Okay. So that's example 2. The last example is example 3. Says quadrilateral JKLM is a rectangle with diagonals that intersect at point P. So let's go ahead and draw that rectangle. So JKLM. Hold on, I got black. Alright, green should be better. So quadrilateral JKLM. Remember, clockwise order. And they intersect at point P. Okay, here we go. It says LP is 3x plus 7. So from L to P is this little length right here. And that's 3x plus 7. And MK is the whole length. We got to be careful. That's the entire length. So that's 26. Oh, this should be way easier than the other one, right? So the pink length is 26. And the blue length is 3x plus 7. But we really have how many of the blue lengths that we need to care for? The second one is up here, right? Because these are congruent. So 3x plus 7 plus 3x plus 7 equals 26. So 2 of these is equal to the whole length of the pink, because the diagonals are congruent in rectangles. Alright, so 3x plus 3x is 6x plus 14. We do 7 and 7, is 26. Now we're going to subtract out the 14. So we say minus 14 and minus 14. That's going to be 12 equals 6x. Then divide by the 6. So x equals 2. Okay. Alright. So that's your information about rectangles. Go ahead and make sure that you work on the quiz for this. I wouldn't suggest gluing this book into your spiral until we're completely done with it, just because we're going to be using it every day, and so we've got quite a few more things to look at. Alright, have a good day.